Really cool facts you didn't need to know.
Want to know something absolutely mind-blowing? There are more possible QR codes than particles in the observable universe. You might have looked at a QR code before and wondered if we'd ever run out.
I wonder what this QR code is. Let me check. It says, how dare you interrupt my piece when I go on the QR code. Is he mad at me?
But if everyone generated one Google unique QR codes every femtosecond, it would take 10 to the 6,078 years to run out of QR codes.
And the even crazier fact is that my IQ is still higher than that.
Maybe let's try a different visualization method. The internet is huge, right? Wrong.
Yeah,
at least in relation to the number of codes. The total data stored around the world is currently somewhere around 200 billion terabytes, or approximately 10.
You know what's crazy, guys? You in the chat are at least like 1 millibyte of that. Shout out y'all in the chat, man. Your IQ is on par with a goldfish. 0.4 GPA. I had almost 4 GPA, 3.93 last year, 3.96 the year before that. I don't want to hear anything, brother. That's in university too, not just high school. Don't even hate on me. You don't know what's going on in my damn life. I'm smarter than you, bro.
The 23 bytes, which compared to 10 to the 7,111 seems small. But that's enough for every person on Earth to have 24 terabytes of data all to themselves.
Damn,
basically, there's just no way to visualize a number as massive as 10 to the 7,111. But I think it's safe to say that we will never run out of QR codes. Boom, your mind has been blown. Now you have no.
Yeah, that was a cool fun fact. I hope the next one's cooler though. Who cares about damn QR codes, let's be honest. 3.9, this might be why you didn't get into Streamer U. I'm too smart.
Anyway, you know ladybugs? They're one of the most popular insects, but it's not so simple. There are more than 6,000 known and described species of ladybugs, or Coccinellidae. For comparison, there are only around 6,640 species of mammals. Many
Dude, they all look the same though. We as humans are one species, but we all look different. And there's 6,000 species of ladybugs that all look the same. If that doesn't show biodiversity, I don't know what does.
Ladybugs don't even look like what most people imagine ladybugs to look like. Some are yellow, some don't have spots, some are just entirely black, some are
don't
black
have spots?
red spots, some only have 2 spots, and much, much more. And even worse,
I ain't ever seen this bullshit. Bro, what am I looking at over here? Is this a zebra ladybug, bro?
Not actually even bugs, which is why they're often referred to as lady beetles.
Oh, your entire fact there didn't make any sense. You just said that there's 6,000 ladybugs, but then some of them aren't even ladybugs. Yo, how about we like use our brain?
Lightning bolt contains 250 kilowatt hours of power, enough to power an average US home for over a week. But they can contain up to 2,000 kilowatt hours of power, enough to power a home for over 2 months. The issue is trying to charge a battery at the speed of literal lightning. But lightning hides another crazy statistic.
That's crazy. A week of power? Why has no one figured out how to like grab the power from the lightning and then store it and then use it inside houses or like use it around? You know what I mean? I just had an epiphany. Male ladybugs are still called ladybugs. We had this conversation like 3 months ago. We know about this.
Lightning is so powerful that it heats the air to nearly 30,000 degrees Celsius. That's 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun. I mean,
and 10 times hotter than Oz. Wait, what?
We are talking about something that heats the air so quickly that it generates a sonic boom, so maybe that's not so crazy. A better way of harnessing free power is the sun.
What's a sonic boom, chat? Is that like an explosion? If the sonic boom happened near me, I would probably die, to be honest. Thank God I got a Spider-Man ad after this awful joke. When have I ever made an awful joke? Don't ever categorize me in there, bro. My jokes are amazing.
The amount of sunlight which hits Earth's land surface could power 1,185 other Earths, or rather human civilizations, since other things in nature also require sunlight. And of course, that's also not taking into consideration that...
Then why haven't we made the Earths yet? If we have the sun, why don't we just make the Earths? So someone give me a Nobel Peace Prize, please.
Solar panels aren't 100% efficient and whatever. Anyway, you have a lot of cells, 30 trillion cells to be exactly approximate, but what's amazing is that those 30 trillion cells in your body is more than the number of stars in the Milky Way galaxy, and more than the number...
What? Okay, that's crazy. More than stars in the universe? Aren't they like forever expanding though? Oh, the Milky Way. Oh, am I an idiot?
Of trees on Earth. and more than the number of galaxies in the entire observable universe.
Okay, that's a crazy stat though. But it's gonna expand. That one could get bigger than the amount of cells eventually, right? More galaxies, not stars though. So, well, Shad, like when I exist, there's one more star. So, you know what I mean? Get it?
Maybe just really confusing is that you're currently living in your future. At the same time, what you're looking at right now is in the past. In fact,
yeah, this is brain rot. No, it's not. Everything I'm looking at right now is the present. How am I living in the future and looking at the past? That makes no sense, okay? And if he explains it to me right now, someone give 5 subs.
The present doesn't even really exist. Say the present is right now. Well, in the amount of time it took for me to say now, you to hear the sound waves from me saying now, and your brain to process those sound waves into the word now is a long time. But you're living in your...
So everything I'm absorbing around me happened in the past, but I'm living in my future because everything I absorb has happened. So I'm in the future, but I'm absorbing the past.
Future because you had a past, and because there is a past, there is a future. But what you're seeing is, well, everything is in both the future and the past. Every action you make is in
shut
the
up.
past.
No, genuinely shut up. No, now he's talking some BS.
How everything is happening in the past and the future simultaneously, but the present doesn't exist, I don't know. But speaking of...
Okay, did he just... yeah, that pisses me off. Did he just explain his own argument and at the end of it say, I don't know? No. That's brain rot. What do you mean you don't know? Why are you telling me then? Learn TS in like 5th grade? They taught this? I didn't learn this, bro. At my school, they didn't teach this. They only taught me about analog clocks, bro.
If you're older than 86, you existed before helicopters. If you're older than 80, you existed before computers. If you're older than 66, you existed before Hawaii was a US state.
That's
if
crazy.
You're older than 57, you existed before printers. If you're older than 50, you existed before digital cameras.
If you're older than 67, then, well, you're brain rot.
If you're older than 45, you existed before laptops. If you're older than 43, you existed before the internet. If you're older than 40, you existed before the Titanic wreck was found. If you're older than 33, you existed before GPS. If you're older than 25, you existed before USB flash drives. If you're older than 22, you existed before 4K video cameras. If
you're just made the cut. I'm 22 on the dot. Come on, man. That's why they call me Mr. 4K, bro. No one calls me that.
If you're older than 21, you existed before YouTube. If you're older than 18, you existed before
I beat YouTube.
Phones. If you're older than 13, you existed before the consumer drone boom. And if you want to see hundreds of other things that have happened in your lifetime, you should check out The World Since You. It's really cool. Anyway, the reason you're alive...
Random plug? That was really smooth, though, so I'm not even get mad.
...at all is because ice floats. Well, also because of many other reasons. Reasons that seem normal and not crazy at all, but if they weren't all designed perfectly, you wouldn't be able to live. There are so many things that have to work just right for you to live. If water wasn't the only liquid, which is backwards and...
Yeah, that's a good point. How does ice float if it's a solid? And when you think about ice floating, that's literally water floating on water. Water has air in it. What has oxygen? Is that why? Because H2O? Is that why?
You wouldn't be alive right now. If friction didn't exist, motion would be catastrophically uncontrollable. If gravity didn't exist, you'd just float off into space. If your
That'd be kind of dope, though.
Heart didn't control itself, you'd definitely forget to pump your blood. Like, for sure.
Yes,
like,
bro.
There's just no way you're gonna remember that. Okay, moving on. In the age of social media...
If you, like, look into, like, the intricacies of how a human operates and all the things that a human needs to live and the fact that Earth was even created... and the universe was even created, and the chance of all of this happening, pretty damn low, bro. Just randomly. Almost zero. Probably zero.
Have lost their true value. We get a few dozen likes on a post and feel like that's a poor amount of likes. But if you change your perspective and realize those few dozen likes are a few dozen people who saw something and enjoyed what they saw enough to put forth effort to hit the like button, that few dozen suddenly...
Wait, guys, when you see my videos, do you hit the like button? Be honest. Y'all hit it? Y'all be hitting it, right? Y'all be hitting that! Y'all be hitting that! Nah.
Feels much larger, especially if you visualize that amount of people. For example, my worst performing video on my channel, which ironically is my 100,000 subscriber Q&A, has around 350 likes. Comparing that to my other videos, that seems like not very many.
It doesn't seem like that much, but it's a
lot. Imagining
lot.
myself in a crowd of 350 people who apparently like the way I talk and look and stumble over every word that comes out of my mouth is really quite insane, and being unfathomably introverted is basically my worst nightmare. This is...
Yes, bro. I think I kind of let that get past me too because I make videos and stuff. When you see a number, you're like, okay, like that's not as much as I want. But then you got to picture the people in like a room, right? How many people does that look like in a room? And if you see 100 people in a room, it's like almost a lecture hall. Imagine like you're giving a lecture in front of 100 people. That's what it means to have 100 people like your video or 100 people watch your video. Now, with that being said, the internet's massive, bro. And people can like find you like this. They don't have to be in the same place as you. You know what I mean? It's really easy. And that's kind of why it's kind of like suppressed. But if you put it in perspective, it's a lot of people. The amount of viewers on this stream is so small, we could fit in the car with extra seats.
Ever been to a hot spring and seen those vibrant colors? That's not necessarily just minerals. As crazy as it sounds, there are tiny microscopic living organisms which not only survive, but thrive in boiling or near boiling water. These are known as thermophiles. The colors come from either the pigments the thermophiles themselves make, or...
Wait, so there's germs and bugs inside my boiling water? Yo, I ain't ever making boiled eggs again, bro. No. I'm joking. I don't really care, to be honest. If you guys didn't know, we have bacteria in our stomach that keeps our stomach good. Like, bacteria is good sometimes. We're trying to really, like, squish people in the car. 2 in the front. We could do 3. We could put someone on the center console. Two in the front, 1 in the middle.
From the minerals that they precipitate. And time to blow your mind some more. Everything you do is affecting the environment hundreds of kilometers away, almost instantly. A person waving on Earth can be seen all the way from space. That means you affected light, which bounced all the way back into space. Everything you do is affecting the trajectory of light, producing...
Apparently, everything you do can affect light, and it can affect space-time. I just saved a group of children from getting hit by a train. I just got rich. I just got richer. I just found a friend for the first time in my life. I just got a girlfriend. Oh, didn't work. When I make a joke about having no friends, you're supposed to say, "No, Oz, we're sure you have at least a few friends." That's what you're supposed to say.
Kilometers away, almost instantly. A person waving on Earth can be seen all the way from space. That means you affected light, which bounced all the way back into space.
Not me.
Everything you do is affecting the trajectory of light, producing sound or something else, which may be so slight that you don't notice it, but it's happening nonetheless, and it's affecting the environment all around you. And something which seems simple.
Wait, so how does this affect my finances? Do I get any money?
Simple, such as talking, isn't just talking. It's precisely controlling air, something you can't really even see, hundreds of meters all around you, which is pretty crazy to think about.
Wait. So I'm kind of like Avatar the Last Airbender with it. I'm kind of like manipulating like the elements around me for my own personal sort of wants and needs. Love you, bro. You're goated. Thank you for the damn video. It was amazing. W videos in the chat. W video. You really did teach me a lot of facts that I didn't need to know, but thank you anyways. You're goated.